Yeah, so let's get into the players only meeting because I know a couple of players shared their thoughts on it
Hmm.
afterwards. So the meeting took place after the Brooklyn game in the locker room, and it was led by Fred, Pascal, and Thad. And Fred told Josh Lewenberg, he said, quote, nobody really likes to be harping, yelling, cussing, or fussing around here. So I think some things just go unsaid, and there are times when you need to say it out loud. Let people know what our standards are around here and just tighten the ship a little bit. We're not going to win all the games. We know that, but there's certain ways that you want to play every night, and those two games were just unacceptable.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, exactly right. I mean, I think, you know, I mean, I look, I think this is not a team that, as Fred's pointing out, that they really do get on each other that much, right? And Nick, I was at the coach's seminar where he sort of explained his coaching philosophy, something like that, to a lot of novice coaches. And one thing he sort of talked about was doesn't like to say a lot after the game. It's too emotional, right? It's actually much better to watch the film and then come back the morning after, whether that's shoot around or practice, and then deliver a more precise and more measured comment. Then he's not a guy who come after the game comes in and screams at the team, right? In short, Nick's not doing a react pod after games, right? He's looking at the film, and I think that's his approach. But I think in a game like that, like yeah, you need to actually have those things be said out loud. Like people should be upset. That game was so poor as a consumer product, right? Like again, this is ultimately what this thing is about, right? You're supposed to keep people at the television, you're supposed to keep people in the arena, and produce something entertaining. There was nothing entertaining about that game. To go down 36 in the first half and to lose in all aspects of that. So it's good. And I think the one thing what people will say, because I've been hearing this a lot now, it's just like Fred has in no position to speak because he's not performing well. And no one will say Fred is performing well. He's performing very poorly as well. Right. And you could make excuses and all that kind of stuff. I don't think people are trying to hear it. Although I think there is some real tangible truth behind that. But I mean, whatever, right? People don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it. It's fine. It's still his job. Just like it's his job to like knock down open threes, which right now he's not knocking them down. You don't want him to stop shooting open threes because that's his job. It's his job to lead on this team. And so I'm happy that he spoke out, even though it's hard to obviously hear from a guy who's shooting really poorly, but that's not the point specifically here. The point isn't that the Raptors are losing because Fred's shooting poorly. The point is the Raptors are losing grip of the rope right from the start of the game, giving up 40 points.
Yeah,
And that could happen tonight, by the way. That could easily happen tonight against the Celtics, right? They're the best offensive team in the league right now. And when you look at their metrics, like the whole team is basically shooting like Steph. So, you could give up 40 again if you're not focused. So we'll see if the message really truly clicked in tonight rather than against an Orlando Magic team that, I mean, come on, man, that team sucks.
I think too is interesting. Talked about the standards that have been set around here and just letting people know, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why Fred, aside from the fact of his tenure here with this team, is that he's been here and he's been part of setting that culture for this team, right? Like
Yeah.
going back to, before the championship years, the championship year and the year after that. And now you have a roster of younger guys, and there's a clear divide on this team in terms of the age and experience of
Yep.
the guys,
Yep.
right? And there's
Yep.
a lot of guys in the rotation that are younger that weren't here for that. So I think it's important for them to, like you said, have those conversations because standards have been set
Yeah.
around here, right? And
No doubt.
like he said, like it's not about winning every game. Like you go up against a team like a Boston, like it's going to be a really difficult challenge, even if they're coming, on the second half of a back to back. It's just, the unacceptable things, like the unacceptable things of like effort and all the things that I feel like we've been talking about the last couple weeks,
Yeah.
right? Those are the things that I feel like need to get cleaned up.
Yeah. And again, like, especially with a guy like Fred, like, I think the reason why his voice should carry weight in the room is not necessarily because of what his true shooting percentage is or what, specifically he's been shooting of late. It's the fact that he's gone through his career as a guy who used to stay across the street at the Fairmount, not knowing if he's going to get cut or not before
Oh,
training
okay.
camp, right? And then becoming the four-string point guard on the team and then making his way up through the D League, winning the D League championship, and then eventually carving out a spot in the rotation through undrafted, then contributing to the championship, then stepping up in a bigger role, then making all-star. Like there's a history and a track record there that I hope that people can respect. I think the fan base probably respects it, but I think, some of the people in that room, maybe they weren't there with him for some of that stretches, and that's fine. Like NBA rosters change really quickly, but I think, yeah, regardless, like, yeah, I think he's right to call it out. And I just hope we see it tonight. Because again, like, you know what? All the bad vibes and everything like that, like, you know what? If they come out and they deliver a win, what are we going to be saying here tomorrow? Well, you're not going to be here, but me and Blake will be here talking about how great the Raptors are and how they're putting
Shouts
it
to
together.
Blake.